Hello, and welcome to this very special Around the Clock. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves. I'm sure many of you have already heard that Steve Ulus, a wonderful past resident here of Ashland, has recently passed away. Our hearts are with his family, his wife Amy, and his daughters Carly and Rachel. We wanted to do our part to share a little bit of what we knew about Steve with our community. If you knew Steve Ulus at all, you knew that he had a big heart and he made anyone feel special, whether you were standing with him or chatting with him for a few minutes or for many hours, or had the opportunity to see him do what he loves to do, which is cook. Steve was a big supporter here of the WACA-TV station. He spent time on our board from 2002 to 2022. He also was instrumental in helping us get this lovely studio at Butterfield Drive in the 2012 to 2013 time period. The other thing that Steve did was he supported so many charities and so many different things here in Ashland. One of the first times I met Steve and got to know him was when he brought one of his first trucks for barbecue up to the now middle school, it was then the high school, as we were trying to pass the vote for the new high school. And he supplied chicken and the fixins, and it was a fundraiser, and it was just so much fun. Another time we got to see Steve was he had his own show here on WACA called All Fired Up. And he filmed that from 1999 till about 2014. And again, it was one of those things, he cooked in different places. He took you all different places to see food, to try food, to cook food, just showed off his personality. Also in 2001, he started Fireflies up in Marlboro. And if you've never had Fireflies barbecue, it's time to go check it out. So Steve also did a show called The Iron Chef. It was held at the Ashland High School, the current Ashland High School. And it was between two administrators at the time. And he had this huge group of celebrity judges, including our current Senate President, Karen Spilka. She was just a senator at that point. Our state rep, Tom Santacandro, and a number of other people. And he was just so excited to bring that to our community. The other thing was he would bring turkeys to the Mendez when they were doing their Thanksgiving event. And I was chatting with my daughter, and she said, I think he brought barbecue up to the high school for a few years when I was a senior and during senior week. So he really cared and gave back to our community. One of the other big things that he did was he supported a lot of charities. And there was a charity that was very close to him and close to us here at WACA. And that was when he supported Jake Silver. Jake Silver did different shows with us here, and Fireflies and Steve Ulus supported Jake and his family during his time battling with cancer. The other thing for me was, again, I got to know Steve through all these things, but one of the best opportunities when I was invited to do a special with Steve, cooking a Thanksgiving dinner. We cooked turkey and all the sides, and I learned how to chop professionally. And we cooked here in the kitchen at WACA-TV, and we just had so much fun. So we're gonna share with you the episode that he and I filmed back in 2016. I think it might have been called Turkey Time or Thanksgiving Time. Very appropriate for this time of year. So enjoy this re-showing of this wonderful cooking opportunity that I had with Steve Ulus. And our hearts go out to the Ulus family, as well as the Fireflies community and anyone who ever knew or was touched by Steve Ulus.
Hey, I'm Steve Ulus with All Fired Up, and I am with an incredible friend, a special guest, Yolanda Greaves, the one and only.
Thanks for having me, Steve. I'm
so
good.
glad you're here.
I'm so excited that we are doing this. I've been wanting to cook with you for a long time.
And we haven't done a show in a long time.
No.
So,
Okay. Well, perfect reason to do it.
Exactly. I needed someone special to do it with, and that's why we're here. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do. So it's the holiday season, right? So I figured, what more Americana, right, than doing something for the holidays? So we're going to do an amazing apple cider brine turkey.
Ooh.
Stuffed with a cornbread and sausage stuffing.
That sounds good.
We're going to make a homemade cranberry sauce.
Yum.
We're going to make Brussels sprouts roasted with pancetta. We're then going to make a homemade gravy, which will be sauce, homemade stock, and then we're going to finish it all off with a brownie pie.
Oh, brownie pie.
I think that's going to be pretty good.
I think so too. It's making me hungry. I can't wait.
So let's get started, because we have a lot of stuff to do in a short window of time. So the first thing we're going to do is this brine, and everyone asked me this question. You asked me earlier.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference?
Right.
It does. It makes a huge difference. When you can infuse that kind of flavor into the turkey or any type of meat that you brine, it adds moisture, it adds flavor, and it is to die for. So that's what we're going to do. And this one we do all the time at Fireflies, all right?
Great.
So first of all, you're going to pass me that apple cider.
Okay.
So for about a 12 to 18 pound turkey, you're going to need to make a couple gallons of brine.
Okay.
So we're going to use some apple cider this time of year, the best apple cider. And then I'm going to have you fill this up with some cold water. And this brine doesn't have to be cooked. This is just going to be made cold, and then you can take this and put the turkey right into it. So we've got the cider.
Yep.
You're going to fill that up with cold water.
Okay.
I'm then going to take brown sugar, some light brown sugar. I'm going to take some kosher salt. I'm going to take some cracked black pepper, Yolanda. This is just pepper that has been cracked. I'm going to take some cinnamon, some sage, some thyme.
Am I filling this all the way, Steve?
All the way to the top. That'd be great. Taking a little longer over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to whisk that together. Once you come over with the water, we'll be good to go on that. That's good enough, Yolanda. That's perfect. Yep. We're going to take that water and we're going to add that in. And that's pretty much it. That's a simple brine.
Wow.
You're going to take the turkey, you're going to submerge it completely. And the best thing to do on that is to take this, and what I use is I take a cooler, an actual cooler, and I'll take some ice cubes, and I'll actually put the turkey inside that cooler and keep it overnight, and for 24 hours it's beautiful. Or you can take it right inside into a large vessel, throw it right into the refrigerator.
Do you have like a big lobster pot with that?
Big lobster pot works great. It's a perfect idea. So that's it on the brine. You just dissolve it, throw the turkey in, 24 hours.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's get rolling on the stuffing, because this is going to take a little while.
Stuffing's my favorite part.
Well, this is a beautiful stuffing. So we've got some melted butter.
Yep.
And have you take those onions and celery, and you're going to pour that right into that pot. We're going to cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to let those get all nice and caramelized, release all of the flavors, those aromatics. It's going to be fantastic.
So about how much onion and how much celery?
So that's about a half a cup of butter, and it's 1 onion and about 4 stalks of celery.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to let that cook. We're going to turn that up on high heat, and we're going to let that simmer.
So question, I mean, I enjoy cooking. I don't cook very often or very much. As we're letting it simmer, best to let it sit or best to stir it around?
We're going to want to stir it, but what we want to do is we want to sear those butter. You can hear that, that sizzle. So it's a high heat with the butter. We got it nice and hot. We throw it in that pan, and that's going to caramelize and start that. But you're going to let it sit, wait a couple minutes, then stir it. And then as you're going to see, as the sugar's released from those vegetables, you're going to start to caramelize more and cook a little bit quicker. So that takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So while that's cooking, we got to make this amazing gravy to go along with this turkey, right? So we need something special, all right? So what we've done is we've taken the neck and the gizzard out of the turkey, all right?
Best part for gravy.
Best part, right? And what we did is we took another ½ pound of butter.
Okay.
And we took the turkey, neck, and the gizzard, and we browned those up with about a cup of diced shallots.
Now, that's raw, so you haven't cooked the
No,
gizzards
it
and the
was
neck
right
before.
in there with that. We're cooking the gizzard and the neck with that clarified butter and with the shallots. And that cooks for about 15 minutes. So we got nice and caramel. You can stir those up.
Stir those up?
And then all we did is we added some homemade chicken stock. And if you don't have homemade chicken stock, you need about 2 quarts. You can buy the low-sodium chicken stock in the supermarket and throw it in there. And to give it that homemade taste, okay? We added a sprig of rosemary, 2 sprigs of thyme, 2 sprigs of parsley, and a sprig of sage. And that's it.
Nice.
And a bay leaf.
And a bay leaf.
And we let it simmer for 2 hours. So while that turkey is cooking away, we're gonna make that stock. And that's gonna be used in our pan gravy for that turkey.
Okay.
Pretty good?
Yeah,
All right.
Sounds good so far. I like butter. Holiday cooking cannot be done without real butter.
You gotta use real butter, and I always use unsalted butter. I think that's very important, so everyone should understand
What's
that.
the difference? Why unsalted versus salted?
Because you can always adjust the salt. You can't take it out. So some butters have a little bit higher salt content than others. So you always start with unsalted butter because you can add as much salt as you'd like. You know, and we know how people have, my wife is like, boom, too much salt. So, it's like hey, thanks a lot, honey. All right. So we've got our stock simmering away.
Yep.
We've got the brine already made, and I'm going to pass that over to my right hand, Felipe. He's going to get that out of the way, and then he's going to pass me over the ingredients for the. He's going to take those for me, and then we're going to work on the brownie pie because that's going to take an hour to bake. Right? Okay. So we're going to keep cooking those. Those are on high. And all I've done for the brownie pie, if everyone can see over here, Yolanda, is I've taken a half a cup. Again, the half a cup of unsalted butter is a popular item with these recipes. And then I've taken 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. Right?
Okay. Any particular brand that you
I like Ghirardelli. That's one of my favorites. I think they do a really good job. So we took some Ghirardelli chocolate and we took some unsalted butter and we melted it. And then what you've got to do is you've got to let that sit for 20 minutes to cool down because we're going to temper it in to some eggs and some flour, and we don't want to curdle or cook the eggs, right?
Right.
So that's cooking away. Like I said, that's going to need a little bit more time. This is simmering away. This is ready to go.
Okay.
Why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come on back, and we'll get some more ingredients on the set, and we'll put these 3 things together.
Sounds good.
I'm Steve Uliss, we're all fired up. We'll be right back. Hey, so we're back.
We are.
We can see the caramelization of those celery and onions. So if you could take that sausage and pour that right into that pan, that would be fantastic. So all we did, Yolanda, is we took some spicy, I like spicy as you know.
Yes.
Some spicy Italian sausage, placed it on a sheet pan in the oven, and we fully cooked it.
Yep.
And we took it out of the oven, and we put it into a Cuisinart and we pureed it. So that's how it gets that crumbled look. Right?
Yeah.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to let those cook for about 3 to 4 or 5 minutes, somewhere in there. Just get them nice and caramely. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take some of Firefly's famous cornbread. I know you've had that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Just a few times.
That's it. So this is like, you want it a day old, So we've taken, it's the equivalent to about 10 cupcakes or, pieces of cornbread. And all we're going to do is we're just going to kind of crumble that up with our hands.
Okay.
All right. And we're just going to let that cornbread just like that. Pretty simple, right? While that's continuing to cook, I figured we would move on to finishing that brownie pie. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Because everyone loves a good dessert.
You got to have a good dessert.
You got to have a good ending.
So tell me about your Thanksgiving. Is Rich cooking? Are you cooking? What's going on?
So we sort of have a mixed plan. He does the turkey and the gravy, and that's his thing. And myself and our 2 daughters, Christiana and Adriana, help out by cutting up the vegetables, setting the table. And then we usually do Thanksgiving with Rich's family because my family's not close. So there's about 12 of us, and we have the turkey and the gravy, and we set the dining room table, and we just have a really nice, relaxed, eat and spend time with the family. I mean,
that is the best thing about Thanksgiving.
That's what Thanksgiving's all about.
Like you said it earlier. There's no presents. There's no pressure. It's like you're with the family. They're home from school. It's all about the food. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So this is, again, a great Thanksgiving meal, a great Christmas meal, right? Hanukkah meal if you want, right? So, all right, let's move on to the brownie pie real quick. So this is a very simple, easy recipe. So again, we took the butter and we took the unsweetened chocolate and we melted that down, and that's now tempered a nice cool 20 minutes. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 egg yolks. Okay. And we're going to take 1.5 cups of sugar, but we're going to beat the egg yolks a little bit first, right? In this little bowl. Slightly beat those up. We're then going to add the sugar. We're going to add the vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to add about a quarter of a cup of flour. And we're going to mix that all. It's going to help bind this whole thing together, right? So we're just going to mix that up.
Ooh, that's looking
just
good
like
already.
that. Looks pretty yummy.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to get that together. Make sure there's no lumps. We don't want a lumpy brownie pie.
Lumpy brownie pie
is not good. And then if you could just take that chocolate and scrape that right into there for me. Oh, man, you are a very good assistant. Not only a great politician, but a great assistant in the kitchen.
Now, Steve, I'm not a politician.
Okay, all right. Well,
I am a public servant.
You are a
trying
public
to
servant.
serve our public in our town.
That is true. And I will tell you, Yolanda, you do an amazing job. Not only are you an incredible selectman and have helped this town immensely, but the bottom line is that you have a show here on Ashland Cable.
I do.
Right? Around the clock, and it's won like 4 national awards.
Yeah, so we have won the Hometown Awards for Best News Show 2 years in a row. And for the regional media, we've also won 2 different awards. The last one was for our 2015 marathon show. We do a whole show every year just on the Boston Marathon.
Yep.
So yeah, it's fun. Around the clock, I feel, is a way to get information out to people. And it's a way for me to be creative. I come from a dance and arts background. I get to be creative as well as get information out to people in Ashland.
And it's great. I mean, I watch the show. I think you do an amazing job. I learn things every day about things that I did not even going on. Tell me about this new pop-up thing that's happening in Ashland. I was intrigued by that.
So this is a great idea. Beth Reynolds, our economic development director, as well as a number of other women, they have formed this committee, and it's called the Corner Spot, and it's going to be taking place where 6 Cherry Street is. So the old building, the property is owned by the Affordable Housing Trust, but they don't have a specific plan yet for what they're going to do. So we're going to take down 6 Cherry Street. It was shown that even though it's historic, it's just not, there's no way to rehab it and do something with the building. So the Corner Spot is going to be a place, it's going to be a temporary pop-up. So they're going to do some landscaping, there's going to be swings, there's going to be places for people to sit. But the best part is that there's going to be a place for businesses to come and try out being in Ashland. So they're going to experiment, be a temporary business, maybe it's a coffee shop, maybe it's a bookshop. Maybe it's a food truck that wants to see how they could do in Ashland.
Maybe we'll throw a Firefly food truck.
That'd be great, because I know people love fireflies, and sometimes going to Marlboro might be a little bit far for people.
It is. I could understand that.
So what's happening is they're doing a fundraiser, and it's all donations. So there's no town tax dollars going into this program. It's a huge thing.
And you know that there's a lot of pop-up restaurants that happen to do kind of the same
right.
thing. You know, I've had friends that, have this idea, this vision of wanting to do a restaurant. They can't afford to fund it. They don't know how it's going to go. Right. So they'll actually use another person's kitchen, and they'll actually try to, hey, give those a little stir.
Okay, I was hearing them.
Yeah. So those are, perfect. So that's amazing. So when is this fundraiser, and how soon is this a reality? Or?
It's an ongoing online fundraiser, and they can go to ashlandmass.com to get to it and find the Corner Spot. And you can donate to the fund. And then if we make and raise $25,000, Mass Development is going to match that $25,000. So our state tax dollars will be coming back to Ashland.
That's huge.
Which is always a big thing.
And we all know in Ashland, there's nothing more than we need in this town. As great as it is, we need more business.
Yes.
And we need to drive that business tax revenue.
Right.
I agree. So if you could add that chicken stock, we have a little bit of chicken stock that's going to go into here. And we're going to let that
the sausage smells really good. Oh my gosh.
And if you can take right over there, you can see that you have some sage and some parsley. Yep, right there.
This is the sage.
Yep, we're going to throw, there's some sage in there. We're going to throw that all in there. And then we've got a little bit of that fresh parsley. We're going to throw that whole chopped parsley in there. And then we're going to take a couple pinches of that salt. Yep, you're going to pinch away some kosher salt. Beautiful.
2.
And we're going to let that simmer.
Okay.
So that's really exciting, Yolanda. I'm excited
about
that.
And people are really excited about it. So the goal is the fundraising goes until, I believe, the middle of November. And then they have to have met the $25,000. And we're pretty close. I was at a meeting last night, and they were talking that we were already at $21,000 raised. We had some really big donations. So we only have $4,000 left to go. Yeah.
That's great.
And then they're hoping for it to be up and running in June. So as the farmers market comes back, people can check that out as well.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we're going to put this pie in the oven.
Okay.
So this is a 9-inch deep pie shell. Bought it right at the supermarket, good old Market Basket right down the street. And all we're going to do is we're going to add this right in here. This is going to take, at 350 degrees, it's going to take about 55 minutes.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to put all that batter, brownie batter, right into this pie shell. Now, you can mix this up. This recipe, we're going to also add in the chocolate chips.
Got to have some
Right?
chocolate chips.
And we're going to kind of mix those in a little bit.
Now, those
Right?
will melt into it, or?
They will melt into it, yep.
Okay.
We're going to add those right in here, toss them all in. It's just going to be like a chocolate chip cookie. Gives it an extra element, you know? Now, the reason I added the chocolate chips at the end is you can mix this up. You can do white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, semi-sweet. You want to do a peppermint twist. They have a mint flavor.
Could you add nuts?
You want to do peanut butter. You can add nuts. So with the nut allergy, not knowing who is going to eat
Right,
it in the
that's true.
studio,
You might want to be
we kind of
careful.
just kept it simple like that. So we're going to take that, we're going to throw it right into a 350-degree oven.
Okay.
And we're going to bake that away. 55
good.
minutes. Pretty
Sounds
simple,
good,
right?
yeah.
So that's cooking. That's simmering around.
Yep.
The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on our Brussels sprouts because those need to go into the oven also.
Okay.
So we're going to take those Brussels sprouts that you have and you're going to throw those right into that bowl. So this is about 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts. And all I did was, let me just grab one, is I cut off the stem and I cut them in half. And those little leaves, believe it or not, when they fall off, you want to throw those in there because they give it a nice little crunch element. Then we're going to take that olive oil in that little blue cup. We're going to add that in there.
So I'm gonna put a little plug in. If people are seeing this before Thanksgiving, the Farmers Market has their indoor market on November 19th. And when I was there last year, there were a number of vendors who had fresh Brussels sprouts available for
and so
holiday
where
cooking.
is this indoor farmer's market going to be?
It happens at the Mendez.
Don't add that one. That's balsamic. We're gonna add that at the
wrong
end.
one.
Yep, that's all right. We're going to add the pancetta though, right?
Okay.
In there. Yep. So
I'm sorry, it happens at the middle school
okay.
on November 19th, I believe from like 9 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the indoor market. So all the farmers that people are used to seeing at the farmers market during the summer
Awesome.
are there.
I'm gonna
plus
have to check it
people who are artisans. So you can start some of your Christmas shopping, get some vegetables. You know, it's the week before Thanksgiving.
That's great.
Yeah,
A little bit of salt.
a little bit of salt.
A couple pinches of salt over there. And then you're going to see a pepper mill right behind those beautiful flowers that Barbara
Let's
picked out.
reach
for us.
around.
You're going to put some fresh ground pepper. You're going to turn that around. And I like a lot of pepper. So, yeah, grind
Okay.
that up. Beautiful. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to toss it up. If you can pass me that sheet pan right underneath that little white casserole dish that we have here. And again, a simple, easy dish, you know? And you can put this right in the oven so you can see we're tossing that pancetta, we're tossing the olive oil.
So where do you get your pancetta? What's it recommended?
You know, I love, one of my favorite places is the Waverly Market in Framingham. Have
yeah.
you ever been there?
Once or
David
twice.
does a really
Don't
good
go there
job
enough.
over there. Yeah, but
I've heard a lot of
Whole
good things
Foods.
about them.
So you want these to be single layer, right?
Okay.
Because you want them brown. You want them to get all crispy and caramely and
yum.
roasted, right? So you can see how beautiful those look. And these are gonna go right in the oven. That's it,
Okay.
just like that. All right.
Very
We're gonna
nice.
pop that
That's
in the
easy.
oven. Simple, very
I could
simple.
even do that.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. So that's all set. So we've got the oven full of our brownie pie. We've got the oven full of our Brussels sprouts.
Yep.
That's ready. Finish our stuffing.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bowl of crumbled cornbread, and I'm going to, it's not too hot, and I'm going to take that. You're going to scoop that out of there for me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have you take that over there, and I'm going to have you mix that up.
Okay.
I'm going to shut this off so we don't burn ourselves here.
Oh my gosh. What a great mixture of aromas coming from this combination of the sausage and the onions and the celery and the corn and the Firefly's famous cornbread.
But of course, the Firefly's favorite corn. So that's really great. So what other things exciting in Ashland have I not been in touch with that you might know that I don't know? Now, I know something really cool that I knew when I went and voted in the primaries, that they're actually putting in solar panels at the high school.
Yeah, so we have 3 solar projects happening here in town. The one that's the most visible is at the high school. They are putting solar panels over the student parking lot, which is the bigger parking lot at the high school. And some of the solar panels are up now. So if you go up there, you actually start seeing solar panels up there.
That's great.
We also have the solar panels on the middle school roof and at the House Street landfill.
Okay.
There's solar panels up there as well.
Yep.
So again, just the solar idea is using renewable energy and not having to have as much on, not using the electrical grid as much and trying to generate some of our own
So
energy.
how much power do they say those solar panels at the high school will?
I should have prepared. I did not.
You did not know.
I do not know. But I do know that by having it up there, it's going to help with our energy costs and our energy use at the high school.
That's great.
And it will tie in because the high school itself has solar on its roof, which is why we're adding it to the parking lot, because there already was solar at our high school.
That's great. That's absolutely amazing. So that's a great project. Anything else exciting going on?
Let's see. There's some new restaurants opening up soon.
Tell me. I didn't know that.
Erica's Restaurante is going in at where old Kelly's and Trackside.
Okay. Yep.
It was great. I got to see the owners. They had come before us a couple months ago to get their liquor license to the Board of Selectmen. I ran into them yesterday and they gave me a quick tour. They've completely renovated the inside. They've painted it. They're cleaning everything up. They're looking to open at the end of November. So a great new Italian restaurant coming to Ashland.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's do this.
Okay.
Very important about this stuffing. The stuffing is phenomenal. You can taste it if you like. There's a spoon right over in that drawer. You got to chill this stuffing down.
Before
right over there.
Before
it goes
stuff
into the turkey. Now you can take this stuffing and you can put it in a buttered casserole dish and bake it at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes and serve it on the side. The turkey that we're making today, I stuffed it right in the turkey. I love how those juices from the turkey just blend with that cornbread and sausage.
Oh, wow.
It keeps moist. Isn't that great? A little spicy, a little kick at the end. Not too much, just because of the spicy sausage. And if you don't like spice, you can use sweet Italian sausage. That's what you can do instead of the hot Italian sausage, right? You can also use chicken sausage. You can use turkey sausage. You don't have to have sausage at all.
The flavor, as you said, there's that kick at the end. But I can just imagine having this inside the turkey and then eating it with the turkey and then the gravy we're going to be making.
It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal. So what we're going to do, Yolanda, is we're going to let this chill down. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to stuff a turkey. We're going to also make the cranberry sauce and the gravy. We're going to let it all finish up, and then we're going to serve this amazing holiday meal for you and I.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm Steve Uliss with Yolanda Greaves. All fired up. We'll be right back. All right, Yolanda, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Gravy time.
Ooh,
so any great
time.
gravy needs a thickening agent, and that's known as a roux. And a roux is 50% fat and 50% flour. So you can use butter, which we have here. You're going to take that flour. You're going to pour that right in there. And we're going to mix that all up. Yep. And then we're going to let that cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now, if you like a darker gravy, you're going to want to make the roux darker. Although the darker the roux, the less thickening power it has.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So like if you add like a gravy master or something?
No. Meaning that there's difference. When you make a roux, it can be different colors. This is now called a blonde roux.
Okay.
Because the roux is blonde in color. As that cooks longer, that gets darker. The flour starts to turn dark. So if you were to make a great gumbo, we would use a really like a chocolate roux. Look almost chocolate in color. Even the color of a copper penny. But as you make it darker, it does not thicken the sauce as well.
Okay.
So you're going to cook that, and then I'm going to talk about that stock that we made earlier.
Yep.
So this stock, we're going to pour off, strain it, right? So we've got the shallots you can see and all those fresh herbs. We're going to pour that right into this container, and that's what we're going to use in the gravy. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
Smells phenomenal.
Smells wonderful.
Yeah. So that's all you can see. Now, if you like, you can take the giblet, right? The giblet or the giblets, and then you're going to chop those up if you like giblet gravy.
Put it in there.
You can put that right in there.
Okay, so my roux is getting dark.
That's beautiful. All right, now you're going to pull that to the side.
Okay.
Beautiful. That's just the way that we want it. All right.
Wonderful.
Now, what we're going to do to that roux, we're going to add some of this stock. You're going to mix that in. Be careful.
Ooh, steamy.
It's going to steam up.
Oh, wow, I can feel it.
Yep. See how it's thickening? Thickening. Beautiful. Pull that off. Got that? Okay. All right. So we're going to just let that sit. Let me taste that and see how we are as far as seasoning.
Do I keep stirring? Do I have to be concerned about letting it burn?
Nope. Go ahead. Keep rolling. I'm going to add some more stock. Needs a little bit of pepper. I'll tell you that. Salt's good, though. We've got enough salt in that right now. So now we're going to let that simmer. We're going to use that. We might thin some more out in just a few minutes.
Okay.
While that's simmering, and you're going to let that simmer right there. You can put that right on that sheet pan.
Okay.
We're going to start our cranberry sauce.
Good.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take.
Cranberry sauce is always good.
We're going to take our water, 2 tablespoons of water. This is a 12-ounce container of fresh cranberries.
Only 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons. And we're going to take 80%. We're going to leave about a half a cup of those berries off to the side.
Okay.
All right? And then we're going to take the sugar and a little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt.
And a little bit of pepper, believe it or not.
Salt and pepper in your cranberry sauce.
A little bit. Just a little bit. The salt enhances the sweetness. So we can look at that.
I was going to say, that's boiling.
You want to stir that with that whisk a little bit? That's looking marvelous. We'll turn that heat down a little bit more to simmer. Now, Yolanda, I've got the rind of a lemon, which I'm using a microplaner, which we're actually zesting this. We want the yellow. We don't want the pith, that white part inside.
So just the yellow. So
just the
yellow,
very
edge of it.
Right.
What if you don't have a zester like that?
So you can take a potato peeler.
Okay.
And you can just scrape off, one little layer, meaning with the potato peeler, and then take a knife and mince it up fine on a cutting board. So the same thing. And then we're going to do the same thing with the orange.
An orange.
Yep. So we've got a little citrus rind, just like this.
And why do you add the citrus? What does that do for the flavor?
It really makes it crisp, and it gives a little bit of fruit to a little bit of acidic flavor to the actual cranberry to cut that tartness.
Okay.
It really complements the cranberries. So we're just going to take this. We're going to mix that all up. We're going to let this cook.
Jump and ship.
Yep. We're going to let this cook just like this for a couple of minutes. This is going to take probably about 10, 15 minutes. And you're going to see they're going to start to come to a little bit of a boil, and then they're going to actually pop.
Okay.
So the cranberry is going to pop. And those cranberries that we saved at the end, when these are going to pop and they're going to kind of turn into that, cranberry sauce that you're used to, we're going to throw those in there, and we're going to let them cook for just about another 5 to 7 minutes, and that's going to give it another texture to that cranberry sauce. So when you buy in the store, you can buy the jellied, or you can buy the whole berry.
Right.
We're going to have some whole berry in here also.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you smush once? Because I've tried making my own cranberry sauce.
Yep.
But it's just the water and the sugar and the cranberry.
Correct.
So I like the flavors that you're adding.
Yep.
Do you smush it afterwards, or?
You're going to see. You're not going to have to. It's going to pretty much smush itself.
Okay.
Right? Is that a cooking term? Smush?
Smush itself?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I couldn't have made a better gravy without your assistance. So it really looks great. So
glad I could help.
What we're doing now is we're going to check for the viscosity or the thickness of the gravy. And you want it to, cover the spoon. Do you see how that's actually coating the spoon?
Yep.
I like it a little thicker.
Yeah.
So as we continue to cook, this is going to reduce down, meaning the liquids are going to reduce, and it's going to get thicker. So we're going to let that cook for a little bit longer time.
Because I don't know about it in your house, but in our house, gravy is the most important thing.
It is. My daughter Rachel, and Carly, both of them. If I don't have gravy, it's and Dad, it's got to be homemade gravy. Right?
Oh, of course. For us, it's my mother-in-law. She loves the gravy. Everything has to have gravy.
So there's the gravy. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, a little salty.
A little salty. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of water, right? Because we've added some salt into that stock, so we're going to add a little bit of water. So if you can just pour that right in there, that'll be great. The whole thing, right in there. Beautiful. And that'll work great. And then we're just going to let that cook, and that'll be the perfect adjustment to our gravy, and we'll be good to go in just a few minutes. Now, the cranberry sauce, as you can see, is cooking away, and you can actually see the skins are starting to pop a little bit on some of those.
Are starting
it's going to take a little bit more, right? So while that's cooking away, I'm going to work on this turkey. If you can pass me that bowl of stuffing that we made, that would be phenomenal. So the stuffing's all chilled out, and now we've got this turkey. So this turkey was brined, right? We have this turkey. We wiped out the inside.
Okay.
Took out the gizzard, and now we're going to actually use our hands, and we're going to actually fill that stuffing. Now, a lot of turkeys are packed. A lot of turkeys are packed, so they actually take the turkey and they pull the actual skin over. That's called trussing the turkey. Right. It keeps it together. So we're going to leave that. So we're just going to rest that up. And I'm just going to actually fill the cavity with stuffing.
And that's the best way to do it, is by hand.
By hand is the best. I mean, you can use a spoon, but, wash our hands, right? And that's the key.
You're going to get messy when
you're going to get a little bit messy, exactly. And we're going to push that all the way into the bird.
Now, some people don't always like to do homemade stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there other stuffing or other things they can do? Or
Of course. I mean, you can buy this. I want to push that cranberry sauce up to the front.
Okay.
We're gonna lower that heat. It's the bottom control right over here, Yolanda. Yep. Turn it down to simmer. There you go. Perfect. So yeah, there's plenty of stuffings that are out there that are available that you can get. And I, like the Pepperidge Farm makes a great one. I know, my mother-in-law used to love stovetop stuffing. We could talk about that another time. But there's all different kind of stuffing. You see stuffings that have chestnuts, and you have, in different styles of sausage. Right. There's all kinds of stuffing. The other thing that I like to do is after the turkey is stuffed, I like to take butter. And I like to take butter and I like to put some underneath the skin. It's kind of like
under the skin. Under
the skin. It's kind of larding. So we're actually taking some butter and we're actually pushing it under the breast, under the skin. Mm-hmm. So you can actually see. And see how it spreads out under there? Yeah, that's going to give us some more moisture. And you're going to just continue to push butter all the way down the skin, just like so. And you'll see that it'll spread down there. And then you're going to take some butter after, and you're going to rub it all over the entire turkey. Nothing like a little bit of butter. No, right. So you're going to put some butter. We're going to rub that all over. And then we're going to take some salt and pepper, some kosher salt, some pepper, and we're going to put that on the turkey, and then we're going to place it into a roasting pan at 350 degrees, and we're going to tent that with tin foil. Okay. All right? And then we're going to cook that for about an hour with the tin foil at 350 degrees. Oh, okay, an hour? Yep. Now, does an hour no matter what the size of the turkey? Or? No matter what the size of the turkey is, because we don't want to brown it too much. So I always take it and I always put the tin foil on it for about the first hour. Okay? And then I remove it. And then as it continues to cook, it's going to brown up beautifully. Sometimes you have the tendency where it browns too much. And then this is going to have, again, we're going to put some kosher salt and some black pepper. And that's going to go in a roasting pan, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to pass that to Felipe. What's the rule of thumb in regards to how long a turkey should cook? So it usually is like 18 to 20 minutes a pound is usually the way that a turkey is at 350 degrees. And then it'll come out hopefully looking like that, right? So this is a turkey that we made. We started this earlier today, and you can see this beautiful turkey, and you can see the stuffing. And the key is you have to, people ask me how long the turkey is, and a lot of them have the pop-up thermometers, but the rule of thumb is you've got to cook it till it's done. Okay. And that's roasting until 165 degrees. That's the temperature that poultry should be at. So this turkey is in a roasting pan that actually has a roasting rack on it. So this rack actually elevates the turkey above the roasting pan. So it actually lets the drippings drip into the roasting pan. So you're not actually cooking the turkey in that liquid. So it gets crispy all around. Okay, so the flavor is a little bit crispier. That's right. It doesn't have that fat that you have. And the key of the turkey is you want to let this rest for a good 20 minutes. You want to make sure that it rests, because what that does is it takes all the juices and they get sucked back in. So when you slice it, if you slice any meat, when it comes right out of the oven, all the juices you'll see go all over the cutting board. And then you lose all of that moisture. Right. Okay. So that's to take this turkey right out of here. You're going to pull that. And we're going to put that right over here. So we're actually going to take this glass. And these drippings right here have a lot of flavor. If you see the bottom of this pan right here also, you can see all of this. See all this? All this has a ton of flavor. Right. So what you want to do is you can take this pan and you're going to put this on a low heat right up front. And you're going to add some of that stock and water. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some of that crispiness with that little, we're going to take that. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to scrape the bottom of this pan. And when we heat this up, you're going to see that this is going to give us a ton of flavor. We're going to take some of this out of that pan with a little bit of water. If you can give me a little bit more water, that would be great.
So, Steve, this is a really big kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have this size kitchen, and you have your potatoes going and your carrots going, and how do you do something like this with the pan?
Well, you do not have to do this.
Okay.
Okay. So this
just adds the flavor.
This just adds the flavor. And this is a concentrated flavor from the turkey. That gravy is perfect, as you know.
Right. It was very good.
We're just going to give it a little bit more boost of homemade flavor. It's also that caramelized color.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to give us some darkness. That's going to make that turkey gravy a little darker. So we're just going to let that cook up, and then all we're going to do is we're going to strain that through the strainer again. Also, if you can see the drippings that we took from that pan, you can see that. Instead of using butter in this gravy, if you want to, you can skim that fat off of the top and actually use that fat. Remember we talked about a roux 50 fat, 50 flour. You can use that and make the roux that way. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do.
Okay.
Now, stir that cranberry sauce. You can see it's looking like cranberry sauce, right? Cooking away. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the rest of those cranberries.
Okay.
So we're going to get that extra texture that's going to go in there. And we're going to let that cook for a few more minutes.
Oh, yeah, I can feel the difference,
All right. We're going to come over here. I'm going to check on these Brussels sprouts and the pie.
Ooh.
Looking beautiful on those Brussels sprouts.
Very nice.
What we're going to do, Yolanda, is we're pretty much done. We're going to take this off. We're going to add a little bit of this stock.
Yep.
But let's finish that up. Let's take a break. We'll get everything together. We'll show how to slice up the turkey on Thanksgiving.
Sounds good.
Or the holidays, because we know that's a little bit of a tricky situation. We'll carve the turkey. We'll serve a great meal, and we'll be right back with All Fired Up.
Sounds good.
Well, we're back at All Fired Up. Let's wrap this show up. What do you say?
Sounds good. I'm getting very hungry.
All right, so if you can take that cranberry sauce, which it is done, looks amazing. You try it. We'll put it right in that glass bowl.
The taste is great. The orange and the lemon zest just really add to the flavor.
That's great, yeah. So as everyone can see, that is beautiful. And then, of course, you can serve it warm. You can serve it chilled. You know, most people prefer chill. That gravy is done. We took some of those drippings and we added a little bit of that, so it darkened that up, gave it another rich turkey flavor in there. Beautiful. So that's good to go.
We'll put that in the gravy.
While you're doing that, I want to talk about slicing up the turkey. Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to remove the stuffing. So we're going to take that beautiful stuffing out of that turkey. Look at how moist that is, Yolanda. Doesn't that look amazing?
Oh, wow.
That is great. So we're going to get all that stuffing right out of that turkey. And that's the way. I don't like that dry, cakey stuffing. I like some stuffing that has some moisture to it, just like this one does. And that's beautiful. And if you do like it crisper, you can take it, pop it right in the oven, and then that's good to go. So that's beautiful. Now, everyone asks, how do I slice a turkey? I break it down in the simplest way possible. So what I do is I remove the leg. People like the drumstick, right? So I have one drumstick here and another drumstick right over here.
So you cut those separate.
I cut those separately right off. Put those in. And then I do the same thing with the breast. I remove the breast. I take the breast and I cut right along the bone. If you see the bone that's right here with a knife, and I just follow that bone all the way down. Mm-hmm. I do the same thing this side, and I cut it all the way down, and I'm following that rib cage. And as you can see, that whole breast falls right off of that. Look at how juicy. Do you see that?
Yeah, that juice
See,
is
that's
amazing.
all from that brine cooked the right way. So then you just take the breasts off, remove the wings. People like the wings. You can do the same thing on the other side of the breast. Right down this side. Come down the other side. You just separate that breast. Everyone can see that right off of that. And you have two beautiful lobes.
So you don't. I've heard that you slice it right on the turkey.
I don't. I want to get as much meat off of the bone as I can. Okay. So that's what I do. As you can see, it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you why in a second. Then I also do the same thing with the thigh. I remove the thigh right from the turkey. Everyone can see that. Right? So see that bone that right there?
Cut right there.
And then I cut that right off on this side.
Wow.
Yep. And then that comes completely off. And then I do the same thing on the other side.
So take it to the table, let everybody see it, then take it back to the kitchen and cut it on a cutting board.
Exactly. So then what I do is this carcass is pretty much good. But everyone's got to know that there's a great piece of the turkey on this side. Does everyone know that? So that's called the oyster. Can everyone see that? And that little piece of meat that's right here on both sides, that is phenomenal. That is a great piece of turkey. So you can cut that out with a boning knife, take that out on both sides, and that's a beautiful piece of meat. Now you can take off the other side, just like so. See, that's why it's called an oyster. It looks just like the oyster. And then, of course, there's still a lot of meat if you want to pick and work with all of that. And then we take that right out of the way. Then we're going to move that over to our kitchen sink area. And then let's just talk about how we're going to slice this turkey up. So as you can see, the turkey breast is ready to go. And watch how simple and easy this is. You just take the turkey breast and you actually just cut just like this. So you get beautiful slices.
Oh, wow.
Right out of the turkey. Some like it thick.
Very nice.
Some like it thin.
Really good like that.
Yep. And you get some skin, and you get the turkey, and then you can just take that on your platter, and you can just lay it right out just like this, right? And then the same thing on the other lobe. And then you put it right there on the platter, and everyone can have some great turkey for the holidays, all right? The same thing on the thigh. The thigh, what I do is I do slice this from the bone, right? So I actually remove some of the dark meat, and I keep it all separate on the platter.
Well, I know in our household, most of the Greaves people like their dark meat, so they're fighting for the dark meat.
There you
so
go.
The more we can get cut like this, the better.
That's it. So you get all that dark meat, and you're going to get all of it right off of the bone. You can come right down, and that goes right onto that platter, right?
Very nice.
Beautiful. So you got that all set. So now we're good to go.
Yep.
Put this turkey, we'll pull it aside. I don't have to cut this all up for the platter, but we'll have that ready to go. We'll remove this cutting board out back.
Sounds good. So now, Steve, we're very fortunate. You're cooking this great meal. Many of us can do this. We do have to realize, though, that there are families here in Ashland that do need our help. And fortunately, we have the Ashland Food Pantry, who right now is collecting donations for the holidays, for meals. And I would ask that if you have the ability, please share some extra. When you go to Shaw's, pick some extra things up, and let's get it to those families that are in need.
It's an amazing thing that we do here in Ashland.
We do.
I really think that it's very important that everyone's saying, you got to give back for the holidays.
That's right.
And there are people, as you said, less fortunate. So, you know, how do they, where is the food pantry? Explain to everyone where it is, what they can do. Is there any way they can contribute, bring food down there? How does that all work? And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull out
Some
this
food.
stuff out of the oven. Yeah.
Okay. So our food pantry is located in our community center downstairs. Kara Terrell runs it and helps with it. So you can contact Kara. Very often on Facebook, she'll post what they're in need of. You can drop things off. They're also looking for donations. If you don't want to buy food, you can certainly give gift cards to some of our local grocery stores. And again, any way you can help, because the food pantry, they service, I don't know how many families, but it's probably over 100 families are using our food pantry.
It's unbelievable.
And during the holidays is when they get a lot of attention. So we're talking about it now, but their needs are constant throughout the year, whether it's food for kids for lunch or through the summers as parents are busy or they're just in need. So they do a great job at our food pantry. They really help feed a lot of families. And again, they take both food donations and cash and checks and gift cards for different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So please contribute to the food pantry and do whatever you can this holiday season. And
Yes.
again, all year round.
And year round, yeah.
Right. So as you can see, those Brussels sprouts came out of the
Those
oven.
look
Don't those look
amazing.
amazing?
Yes.
Can you pass me a spoon that we can put
Sure.
that into this dish for? A large serving spoon.
Large serving spoon.
Beautiful. And we'll fill that up over here. So you can see the Brussels sprouts and the pancetta got all nice and crispy,
Yeah,
right?
and those separate leaves that you were
Yeah,
talking
those
about,
are-
what a
they look
great flavor
phenomenal.
they're going
right?
to have.
Make sure you know if we took this sheet pan, we covered it in tin foil. You don't
Right.
want to serve any tin foil with
No,
with your
they
Brussels
would not
sprouts.
appreciate
No, that
that.
wouldn't be good.
Would not add to the flavor.
No, wouldn't add the flavor. So we've got our Brussels sprouts, we've got our turkey, we've got our stuffing.
We've got our gravy.
We've got one more thing we've got to take out of that oven.
Ooh,
Look at that pie.
again,
And there is
It's a
our
just dessert.
amazing pie.
nice.
Right? It came right out of that oven. Beautiful. That
Very
brownie
nice.
pie. Good to go. All right, let me make you a plate. Tongue will be a little bit easier, but whatever.
Oh,
You
that
get the
looks
point.
So good.
Then we're going to have a little bit of these Brussels sprouts. Got to have some Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are really good.
That's it. And then, of course, some of our famous
course,
stuffing
the
that you were
stuffing.
so instrumental in making this thing happen. A little bit of cranberry
Of
sauce.
course.
We'll steal that spoon. And then, of course, you got to top it off with some gravy.
Some gravy,
right?
of course.
A little bit of gravy.
A little bit on everything.
A little bit on it. You got it.
Ooh,
Beautiful. That is a
nice.
good-looking dish.
Wow.
Now, if you pass me a plate, I'm going to make myself some
Okay.
too, because all this hard work. You
Well,
know,
you can't let me eat alone.
No,
That's
you can't eat
never any
alone. You
fun.
can never eat alone. Exactly. So we've got some turkey. I'm going to steal that oyster though.
Are you a dark meat person, Steve?
I like, I believe it or not, I like it all. I mean, there's no, I do like white meat on the turkey as long as it's prepared the right way. There's nothing worse than
very
dried
dry.
out turkey.
Yes.
Yeah. And a little bit of cranberry sauce. And a little bit of gravy. And we're good to go.
Okay.
Let's take a
sounds
bite.
good. Let's try. I'm going to try the stuffing first.
Okay. I want to try the turkey first.
Mm.
So you taste that brine in that turkey?
Oh my gosh.
That flavor goes
is
all
so
through the turkey.
moist.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's
Wow.
moist. It's flavorful. It really has some great, great flavor.
I think we might have found a new turkey recipe.
That's it. Well, it's a new turkey. So now let me show you. We're going to pull out.
I'll put this aside for a second.
This one came out of the oven. This came out of the oven. This one's been chilled down. It would be too hot to serve this one. So I'm just going to slice a piece of that brownie pie. Felipe and I made this yesterday, right? So you can see how beautiful this is. Voila. And then if I could have a little bit of that whipped cream, nothing like a little whipped cream, and a little powdered sugar to sprinkle it up.
Ooh,
And that's a good looking dessert.
that
right?
looks like a very good dessert.
Even though I butchered it with this knife.
That's
but it's still
okay.
gonna
It
taste
still looks
great, I promise you.
wonderful.
So again, all the recipes, if you want them, just send an email to WACA-TV. We'd be more than happy to get them for you. Again, I'm Steve Ulus with my great friend Yolanda Greaves. It was great having you on the show.
Steve, thanks for having me come and cook with you this wonderful holiday meal. And I really appreciate having this opportunity to be here.
It was great. It was great to learn about all the things that's happening exciting in Ashland. Again, all fired up. Come on, visit me at Fireflies whenever you want. Yolanda's even there sometime. We'll have a couple of sodas with you, or a beer maybe, or two.
Okay.
But it is the holiday season.
It is the holiday season.
Tis the season.
Might be some hard cider.
Hard cider.
There we
go. All fired up. Steve Uliss. We'll see you later, guys. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.